Hi Daryl, so I'm going to start off the video here with just a quick run through of the game. This is the splash screen, just a simple button and a title. And as soon as the game starts, the dialogue is popped up, and your AI explains the story of the game. But I'm going to click through that just for the sake of time. So this is the start room, and I'm going to go on to the main room here. So as you can see, enemies have spawned, and I was shooting at them there. The AI, you could see, also quickly tried to target it, but I killed it before he had the chance to get it. Now I've got to a range of the key, and close-ish that you can find it. I can change the range that I wanted to find the key at it quite easily, but I decided to go for a quite close one so that the player would actually have to explore. That's an ammo pickup. You can see here that the enemy's going for the health pickup, but my health is already at full, so he won't pick it up. He'll go to it. He'll do nothing. He'll realize, okay, the player's health is full, and then he'll move on. For the sake of this demo, I've set the amount of enemies to be spawned quite low, so I don't end up dying. It's easy to change it. I've built the range and a slider into Inspector, so that as you can see there, whenever I went over the health pickup, it didn't pick it up because my health's full, because the player can also pick up the pickups, except for the key. But yeah, I've implemented a range slider in the Inspector that I can easily tweak to change the amount of enemies that I want to spawn and the amount of waypoints I want to spawn, so how diverse the enemy movement should be, how many waypoints they all go around. So this is the third key that he's going to pick up, and that's the end of the story. Then he'll just explain it to you, and that'll be the final part, and it'll bring you back to the main screen. So this is the script here, and I'm going to change the main one so that more enemies spawn, so that I can show off the death screen. So that, as you can see there in the script, there's max amount of waypoints and max amount of bodies, so I can tweak it to however I like. And you can also see there that there's a body array. I can make that, if I had more bodies, more different enemy types, I could easily just drag and drop them in, so it's very expandable and it's easy to change. Also, if I don't want any of these components to spawn, like the key or the ammo pickup or the health pickup, I just take them out and they won't spawn. So as you can see now, there's a lot more enemies in the scene. And I'm going to try and get some of them to kill me here just so I can show off the death screen. Yep, that's it. So it pauses the game and then just takes you back to the main menu. Well, there's a button that takes you back to the main menu, and you start again from the start room. So this is my splash screen. As you can see, there's two things. When they don't destroy and unload, the game manager and the music. The music and game manager are something that persists throughout the whole game. They're both using singletons, so there can only be one at a time. So if you go back to the main menu, they won't spawn again. Like the music won't just, two things will spawn and they'll be playing over each other. Two game managers spawn and play over each other. So this is an example of this is a game manager script that I use here. As you can see, I store the variables that I want to persist over the course of the game, like the ammo, the keys collected, the current health, that sort of thing, because I don't want them to be remade every time the scene reloads. And as you can see, there's a couple of actions up here. There's an event, player death, that's invoked whenever the health is less than 0. And then there's also on key pickup that is actually invoked from a different method. This here is an ammo pickup that I've designed, and it has a lot of functionality to be any other pickup that I want it to be, so it can easily be changed by just selecting it in the tile function script as something else, like an exit tile or a health tile or a key tile. Up here at the tag, it's tagged pickup. If I've tagged it with pickup, that means that the follower AI will go and try and collect it. If for a gameplay design I wanted it so that the follower ignored it and didn't try and collect it, the player had to pick it up themselves, I just untag it or tag it as something else, and the AI wouldn't go after it. That's done here in the tile action script. So you can see I've used a public enum here, and that's what I use to select health tile, exit tile, ammo tile, and key tile. And then I've used a switch statement down here, and those are the different states that it can be. So it's, if it's a health tile, do this. If it's an exit tile, do this. If it's an ammo tile, do this. And the key tile, it actually is the code for that is in somewhere else in the enemy thing, but if it looks for this here, public enums, and if it sees that it's key tile, it'll be like, okay, this is a key tile, and do the appropriate code for that. This is an example of the state machine for my follower AI. So there's go to pickup, go to enemy, go to target, and wait by target, and these are the variables up here. Distance, that's distance to player. Distance to pickup is the key collected, and distance to enemy. And I can change in here the values, so if I wanted him to move towards an enemy whenever it's further away, then I could just easily change that there. All this is done in the script down here. This is the controller, the tank AI. And one thing that I've done here, actually, for the AI to find the enemies and the pickups, it doesn't just go to the first one that it sees. It actually has a line, and it checks along it, and it finds the closest enemy or the closest pickup. And if that changes, because the enemies are moving around, it'll always try and go to the closest one that it sees first. So I've done that in this code here. There's just a for each, and it actually does this on every frame. It loops through and tries to find the closest one, and then it updates the distance to the pickup and the vector3 of the positions, and then that's then fed into the animator so it knows where to go. And these are the other states here: go to enemy, go to key, go to player, and wait by player. And there's in go to key, once he picks it up, he actually invokes a event down here on key pickup, and I put that in the game manager so it was easy to reference. And then that triggers some code that elsewhere in another script that happens whenever a key is picked up, and it's actually to trigger the dialogue. So the dialogue window pops up, and the AI will say something like, "Oh, we've collected the second key." Another cool thing is that whenever the window pops up for the dialogue, the player can't actually shoot. He can only click the next button. So I've disabled shooting whenever the dialogue thing comes up. The enemy AI is a more basic version of the follower AI state machine. The one thing that would be quite different would be maybe the waypoints, which is in this behavior here. So it basically just finds the closest waypoint or the next waypoint, and then it just tells the enemy to go to it using the a*.target, because both the enemy and the follower AI are using the a* pathfinding rather than just the transform. I've also streamlined since the last version the way that the enemies and pickups and everything is placed on the map. So I've actually made a little vector3 function, get walkable tile, and that will return a walkable vector3 tile, so I can easily just instantiate an enemy on that. And when it returns that vector3, it actually removes it from the list, so there's no chance of a pickup spawning on a tile that an enemy spawns on, or that another pickup spawned on, because they'll all be unique tiles. I've also got a method here for spawning the values, which just uses, and the waypoints, uses a waypoint array, so I can set however many waypoints I want, or I can have no waypoints whatsoever, and it'll work. And if I have no waypoints, the enemy will just stand still and only move towards the player whenever the player is in a certain range. I also tried to work on my tunneling code, but I didn't get that working. I got it so that it prints out a line between the closest 2 points. I tried to get the vector3 ints along the line that it draws, but I couldn't quite figure out how to do that. So I had a plan of what else I need to do. So what I need to do to fully get it working would be to get the vector3s along the line that it draws. See, I got the middle point one there, but it's not a vector3 int, it's only a vector3. Then I would need to instantiate the bottom map.set tile in that position. And then after I've done that, I would need to rebuild the a* so that the AIs can go through it, because even if I set a bottom up tile in some of these positions, the a* doesn't know until I've rebuilt it.